All right, so here's a second video for rules of exponents. All right, so I went over all these yesterday, but I'm leaving them up here just in case you want to go back and look at them. All right, pause the video, whatever, do whatever you need with these. All right, so let's look at these examples. I only have these 6 examples. All right, we'll go through them so we can talk about them. All right, so with this first one, if we look at this first one, all right, part A, I like to think about this as we're just having a power raised to a power. So 2, because it did not have an exponent. Remember, people in math are lazy as hell. All right. So I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna write that 1 in there. So what this one's gonna be is 2 to the 1 times 4. Remember, when you have a power raised to a power, you're multiplying. Times x to the 3 times 4. All right. Again, power raised to a power. So we end up with 2 to the 4th times x to the 12th power. Well, 2 to the 4th, you grab your calculator, you just do some mental math. 2 to the 4th, remember it's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, gives me 16 x to the 12th. And we're done. All right, part B. Again, in my opinion, it's just power to a power. So all of these, since if they don't have an exponent, they're all an exponent of 1. All right? So then I end up with 3 to the 1 times 6, and then x to the 1 times 6 over 4 to the 1 times 6. Now here's the only one that changed. Y to the 2 times 6. Okay? So we end up with 3 to the 6th, x to the 6th, all over 4 to the 6th times y to the 12th. Now you bust out your calculator, 3 to the 6th, because I'm not that smart. 729 x to the 6th. 4 to the 6th gives me 4096 y to the 12th. All right. Sorry, let me at least make it look like a 12. All right. Now for part C. All right. So A and B in my opinion, were both just power to a power. All right. It was just that one. Now for part B, we have power to a power. All right. But there's going to actually be one more step to this. So I have exponents of 1 on both of those. I have an exponent of 1 there. Now in this case, I actually have -5 in parentheses to the 1 times -3. And then I have x to the 1 times -3. All right? I put that 5 in parentheses because it was negative. All right? So I wanted to make sure that I included that negative. Times. Now I'm going to look at this side. All right? Now I'm looking at that side. So again, -5, power to a power, 1 times 5. And then I have x to the 2 times 5, power to a power. Remember, we're just multiplying. All right, so now I have -5 to the -3 power, x to the -3, times -5 to the 5th power, x to the 10th power. All right, now if I look at this, now we have bases that are exactly the same. All right, we have bases that are exactly the same. So what do we do when the bases are the same? Remember this rule: when the bases are the same, you add the exponents. Okay, bases are the same, add the exponents. So what we're going to have here is we're going to end up with -5 to the -3 plus 5. And then we have x to the -3 plus 10. So -5 to the 2nd power, x to the 7th. Now -5 squared gives me 25 x to the 7th. Okay? All right. Part D. All right. Letter D. Again, if I don't see an exponent, it has to you have to remember it being a 1. So I have 2 to the 1 times 5 because power to a power, r to the 2 times 5 over 3 to the 1 times 5 t. Now it's negative 4 times 5. All right, so we started off with power to a power. Now let's clean this up a little bit. 2 to the 5th, r to the 10th, all over 3 to the 5th, t to the negative 20. Okay. Now my first thing is I'm gonna look at those bases. Are these bases the same? No. So I'm not gonna worry about trying to subtract exponents. Okay. I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm just gonna grab my calculator and figure out what 2 to the 5th is. 2 to the 5th is 32. 3 to the 5th is 243. All right. Now I'm looking at these bases here. Are those bases the same? No, they're not. All right. So I can't do anything with them. But when I look at this, all right, when I look at this here, oh, I knew I was going to do that. All right. When I look at that r to the 10 is positive. So it's going to stay up on top. Well, this t is has a negative exponent. And remember what happens when we have negative exponents. All right? When we have negative exponents, this is the rule right here that I want you to remember. When you have negative exponents, oh, sorry, wrong one. Crap. All right, it's this one right here, negative exponents. That's the one I want you to remember. All right, so that's what I'm going to be referring back to. All right, so since that t was in the denominator with a negative exponent, it moves up to the top and becomes positive, and we're done. All right, E. I look at this thing and I'm seeing bases that are the same, x and x. All right, where do I do the work? I do the work wherever the exponent is biggest. All right, remember this one from yesterday's lesson. All right, from the previous lesson. I'm doing the work wherever the exponent is biggest. So I'm going to draw my fraction bar. 5 is bigger than 2, so since 5 is at the bottom, 5 minus 2. Now I'm looking at y's. Crap, missed. All right. I have y to the 6th over y to the 1st. Well, y, since 6 is bigger, it's going to be 6 minus 1 up on top. Last one. All right. Z to the negative 1, z to the 3rd. Well, 3 is bigger than negative 1, so I'm going to do the work at the denominator. Z to the 3 minus a negative 1. Do I care that that z was negative up on top? I don't give a damn. All right? I don't care. What happens when you have two negatives? It becomes positive. All right, so we end up with y to the 5th power, x to the 3rd, over z to the 4th. All right? Now look at f. All of this crap, all of this crap is being raised to the 0 power. Think about what we said yesterday. All right? Think about what we said yesterday. Anything to the 0 power, anything to the 0 power is 1. All you have to make sure is that the crap inside that parenthesis is not 0, because 0 to the 0 power is undefined. All right, so let's look at it. Is this mess inside? Is that mess inside 0? No, none of it's 0. Do I give a crap what it is? Nope. The answer is 1, and I'm done. All right. If you have questions, please email one of us. Okay.